Good evening, everyone. My name is Levi Fajardo. So I developed the iFLOW, and I'm gonna run you guys through from A to Z on how to put it together. Now, the first option I have, as far as the remote actuator goes, is this right here. Now, the model number that I use is right there, A150. The wiring is the CR301. Now, before I get too far into it, I'm gonna just answer the question that's on everyone's mind, and almost every other person writes to me and asks about. Is this the same as the Flow Pro? Does this do the same thing as the Flow Pro? As far as everything goes, I don't own a Flow Pro, so I can't tell you it. I can't tell you all the differences. But what I can tell you is that yes, this actuator, this model actuator, is the same one that Flow Pro uses currently, that they currently use. Now, does the DN10 ball valve, this is a DN10 ball valve inside of here. Does Flow Pro use a DN10 ball valve made by MTM Hydro? Yes. This is also a DN10 ball valve made by MTM Hydro. Next, the remote. This is the receiver, right? This is the remote. Is this the same type of remote that Flow Pro uses? Yes. Mine is smaller because it's only a one relay. I've seen some that have like 4 on there, but you only need 1. Does this give remote feedback? Yes. It's the same thing. So you ask, what is the difference? I'm addressing this right up front because I know I'm gonna have those questions. What is the real difference between this system or the system that you build if you use the same parts and my 3D print brackets that I posted out there for people to download? The real difference is right here, the bracket. When you're talking about parts, all the parts and components is basically the same except for the design of this bracket. Now I will go over the design of how I built the bracket, and while I unscrew it, talk to you about why I did it. Back in November, I had knee surgery at a meniscus tear. I've been in the Marine Corps for quite some time. I'm about to get ready to retire. My goal and plan after retirement was to pressure wash. About a year ago, I started having really bad knee pains. And I started to think, once I had my surgery in November and I couldn't walk, I was like, I need to think of a way that I don't have to do as much walking. Like, I don't want to have to walk back to the truck, pull my dipstick over and over and over again. So I started thinking about this. It took me about a night of thinking and then a few weeks to actually get it printed, because I didn't know 3D printing at that time. I knew what I wanted. I knew that I had to take measurements of the ball valve, got the 90% solution, and then sent it to someone that was a little bit better at 3D printing, and they finished it up. Now, this is how the bottom looks of the actuator, so everyone knows. Okay? All these current models come with this, right? And an Allen key so you can manually override it if anything should happen. Now, let's talk about the first component, right? I'll talk about the things that differ. This is how I designed mine. You see these notches? That's where the DN10 ball valve slides up in there. Boom. Now, the brackets of Flow Pro, from the ones I've seen and from talking with Jed of what he does, he has an O-ring inside of here. I didn't do an O-ring inside of here because my recommendation and what I do is I just put silicone. When I finally seal it up and put it up top, you would want to put silicone such as this around here. Now, the reason why you do that is so water doesn't seep in here from the sides, which it may or may not, but some of you mount your systems this way on your rigs and then you have things going down. This unit is not intended to be mounted sidewards. This unit is intended to be mounted upright like this. When contractors start mounting this sideways on their rigs, will it work? Yes. Do you increase the chances of things happening to the internals over here? Yes, because water, chemicals, debris can get all cut up and then go on the inside of here and mess with this right here. So just don't do it. Mount it upright like its intended purpose. Okay, so I left a hole on the bottom over here, as you can tell. So if water does come in, it has some place to drain to. Also, it cuts down on the amount of material that you use. What is this made out of? I make my brackets out of PETG, which is a type of plastic, with carbon fiber filament. So there's carbon fiber infused into these brackets. It's printed at a 35 to 40% infill. If you learn about 3D printing, you'll start to understand what like infill and the walls and the width of the walls. But that's what it's printed. It's more than strong enough. Now, what do these brackets do? These brackets, all it does is really to help hold the bolts together. The bolts in my design is what provides the actual true strength for the ball valve to stay in place. And I'll show you here shortly. But again, I'm gonna go over this when I show you guys how to put things together. Highly recommend. Do you have to? No, you don't. But highly recommend. And when I do complete builds, I do it. Silicone is to be placed on here. If you ever have to take it off, take this whole thing off, then just clean it off, put another layer of silicone, seal it back up. Simple, done. Don't have to worry about getting another O-ring sent to you. If you lost it, you took it apart, like, oh, I don't have like, run, get a $1 bottle or $2 bottle of silicone, slap that silicone over there and move on. All right. Now, so if you buy the $205 unit, that's what it will come with, along with these bolts. These bolts are stainless steel, 70mm bolts. I left the nuts that come with the bolts when I order it on here. You can take this off, put a washer. You can leave this nut on. I'm gonna send it to you with this nut on, and it will still be secure. I made it 70mm because it allows enough play and enough wiggle room so you can put that skid that I designed. It's a skid plate. Put it on. I highly recommend. If you don't buy the skid plate, make your own skid plate, and then you mount your actuator to the skid and skid down to your rig, because you can tighten the skid's bolts a lot more tight. You don't want to, as you put this thing together, get my ball valve, put it in, boom. right? Put my bottom in, boom. Then I get my actuator right here. You see the actuator line is going up and down? You can literally put it any way you want to, really. But I just like putting it like that. Boom. Then, once it's all lined up, get your bolts. Roll. And move this out the way. It's all lined up. Get your bolts. Just tighten them down. All right. Now, before I tighten them all down and show you how to test it when you first get it, I'm going to go over the other key component that has to be custom, which is this, the key, right? The key, the actuator insert for this drive. Now, this, some people have tried, I've even tried a 3D print one. I didn't like the way it came out. So I went with the, using the key. When you buy this from the manufacturer, tell them, hey, make sure I get this key, this insert drive, the key for it. They'll send it to you. I get every single one of mine when I order these actuators, because I order it from Alibaba. I get the key with it. So, but this key is not a direct fit onto the top of this DN10 ball valve. You have to remove the handle from your DN10 ball valve, and then I remove the nut. I file down slightly, just slightly, the threads, because there's only threads on a DN10 ball valve on both sides. It's not all the way around. I file slightly down, fit this on top, fit the key on top, and then I take a U-shaped piece of metal and shim both sides. So there's 4 points of contact. Let me say again, 4 points of contact. There's contact being made on the thread side, and then when I slip it down, and then the other 2 points of contact is on these sides when I put the U-shape. So there's 4 points of contact, and it spins and it's locked in. Now, an extra step I do take, you don't have to do it. I just like doing it. I put gel super glue here and here. That's just an extra precaution. Is it necessary? No. The one I have on my rig outside, I didn't put it, but as I sell it to people, I'm putting it on. Now, really the only thing that you have to change on the system is after about a year, it's gonna be your ball valve. Maybe sooner if you're like heavy usage, but the average time frame, I would say, just like your ball valve that you use right now, if you don't have electron and you're just using your hand, after about a year, you're gonna want to replace this. Now, when you replace this, you can do one of two things. I will have these on hand where you can just basically buy this. If you purchase the unit from me I'll have these on hand and I'll sell you a replacement ball valve. Or you can get pliers and yank this off. Get pliers, get a screwdriver, pull and pry, and it will come off. This, again, is shimmed on, just like with any shim thing. It's shimmed on, then you pull it off, and you put it back on, tap it back in, shim it back down, okay? So, yeah, that's this. Now, when you get it, you're all excited, you ordered, Yeah, actually, this is all you really need. If you are a person that has some type of electrical, mechanical skills, you don't even have to have like in detail because I'm about to show you. If you can just follow directions, this is all you really need, and you can go and buy a remote off of Amazon. Really, if you can follow directions, and you got some time, it doesn't take too long. We're about to run through it right now. Again, this is an A to Z iFLOW build plus troubleshooting and everything. I'm doing it one shot, one kill. Um, Here we go. So, place it on. Boom. Place this on. Then I put this on there. Boom. Again, if you're done, like you already have your T's, your quick connects on here, and you're about to place it on, go ahead, slap that silicone on, put this down. Again, I just use this type of silicone. I got it at Harbor Freight DAP. It does the job. It will seal it. Now, with these bolts, if I know I got my entire setup done, I got my my T's, everything on there, and I'm gonna secure it and start working. What I do, and I highly recommend you do this too, is put thread lock on the bottom of these bolts. This is semi-permanent blue thread lock. Again, you don't want to use permanent where it locks it in there, but you need some type of thread lock because of the high vibration environment that we work in, right? We work in a high vibration environment. You don't want these to get loose. So, as you can tell, there's more than enough space. The nut, I'm gonna leave it on there. You can take it off, put a washer. But it works with the nut on, it works with the nut off. You can put a washer on there, tighten it down. And then also this is enough space for the skid plate that I designed. Now the skid plate, I'm making some this weekend. The ones that I had, I gave out already, so I don't have any on hand. I'm trying to balance my time with being a full-time Marine, building these, talking with people on Facebook. Like right now, my phone's going off. There's people that I have to ship to tonight, but I thought it was very important that I finally make this video and do, and it's gonna be long, but I do an A to Z on this thing. And I finally address what the differences are, because I get asked all the time. And there's really, for the past couple of years, there's only one company that really produced these. Other people have tried. So guess what? They have a lot of people that have bought them. There's companies out there that sell them, that get a significant amount of profit from selling them. So yes, I understand it. Me showing everyone this and how I did it and got it to work, and what, like, it could be somewhat letting out like someone's secret, but it's not really not a secret. Actuators have been around for years, used in other industries, especially used in plumbing, irrigation fields, all this type of stuff, farming, pressure washing. I guess hasn't been using it for that long. Right. So when you get it, I'm just gonna hand tighten it. I'm not gonna get, for right now, I don't have the Allen wrench on me, so I'm just gonna hand tighten it, and you'll see it still works. These bolts, again, these bolts literally run along this ball valve inside of here, the case of it, and that's what provides the true force from it not spinning. Here we go. Now, these are 3 wires. These actuators are 3 wires. There's the ground, right? This red wire is what is going to actually make it, when it's powered, make it turn, you'll see, to a position, which will be how I have it set, because right now it's open, which will close it. And then when this is disconnected and this is hooked up to the power, it turns again. So I just got a good old DeWalt battery right here, hooked it up so you guys could see. Now, trying to get this angle. You'll get the gist of it. Oh, that's why I brought this box. All right. So I put these connectors on here. You have to understand the basics of how this thing works. Again, I don't have connectors on here. I'm just showing you guys. Because you have to understand, if you're going to build it, it's really not that hard. But I want you to understand. Give you the A through Z. I'm just going to connect the black. Now, I'm going to connect the red. Trying to do it where you guys can see. You'll hear it. It just turned closed. When red is connected, because of the way I have it, how I have it set, where it's normally just open, when the red is connected, it closes. All right? Now, once it gets to that position, there's no power flow. Like, all the power stops flowing. Okay? Now, I'm going to disconnect this red wire. I'm going to pull it out of here. And I'm going to connect this green wire right here, this green wire. It's going to be very simple. This green wire, when it's powered, it turns it in the opposite direction, right? Back to open. It's as simple as that. That's why it's 3 wires. Get the 3 wire. Do not do the 2 wire. 2 wire uses internal capacitors. Those capacitors have a higher tendency to fail over time. All right, that's the basic. Open, close, red, green. Simple. From there, you just hook up your remote. Now, I'm going to show you the remote, how to set your remote, how to program it, how to clear your remote, all that. All right, so I think I covered everything about this. As far as the bracket, DN10 ball valve, bolts, the reason why I have it set up, how I did the key, what model, what's the major differences. I cannot tell you every difference from as far as this bracket goes and my bracket to the iFLOW, because I don't own one. I didn't take one and use it to develop this. I just came up with this design by measuring and taking it to a person that is good with 3D printing to finish it up. That was it. Simple. But yeah, it's the same. Same actuator. All right, now let's go over the remote. I hope I didn't go over it too fast, because the intent is really for you guys to watch this video and be able to put yours together, really, and answer any questions you have. All right. Now, this is the remote. When you get the remote, right? If you're just buying if you just buy this actuator and this remote for, I think I put it for $275, which these remotes are nice. I give it to you. These remotes are nice because of the feedback option. Do you need feedback? No, you don't. And I'll tell you this. It's nice for the first couple times because you're like, oh, I get that warm and fuzzy. I hear the beat. But after a while, you don't even pay attention to the beat. Sometimes you can't even hear it because of a lot of times you can't hear the beep unless you bring it like right up to this remote, right up to your ear. Why? Because our pressure washers are loud. They're loud. You don't hear it. If you're in the back of the house, it's quiet, like you're far away, you can hear it. But like if you're on the side of the house, you press it, or even in the front of the house, you press it, you're not gonna hear the beep. And after a while, you don't even really look or listen for the beep. You just press it, and then you just watch. Like within 10 seconds or so, you'll see like the either soap coming out, or if you change from soap to water, you'll see just clear coming out. You won't see any suds. This is a nice to have. Is it necessary? Not at all. You can go, I bought 50 of these remotes, and then extra ones of these. You do not need these. I'm telling you right now. I have them. You can buy them for me. It's nice to have. I'll sell them to you. Well, it's a part of this deal, really. If you need spare remotes with on and off, on soap, off soap, on soap, off soap. That's how I have it set. I don't know. I won't charge that much. I know that. But as you can tell, all my prices are relatively cheap. I'm still going to charge a little, but nothing crazy, really. Because you got to remember, when I buy it straight from the manufacturer. It comes from overseas. There's something else that I pay, which is import and customs fees and taxes. The customer really doesn't see that. All they see is at the end. Or they see online, they look at Alibaba, oh, it's only $40, $50, plus shipping from overseas, plus custom brokerage fees. It's gonna start to add up. And then, of course, plus taxes at the end of the year. Or the beginning of the year, right? Okay, so you'll get this and your remote for $275. First thing you want to do is program your remote with your receiver. I'm gonna set this aside because this is not important right now. First thing you want to do is marry these two up. I can do it for you prior to shipping, but this is like a DIY build. The purpose of this is so that you can learn how to do it. Again, the purpose is for you to be able to do it, so you can teach others, so you know how your equipment operates. That's what you really want at the end of the day. You don't want some trade secret where you don't know how this thing works. You want to be able to get it. Issue comes up, you want to be able to fix it, right? Because there's not, unless there's a store right nearby. Even if you have a store that sells these even an hour away, do you want to drive an hour away when you could quickly fix something by yourself by knowing how to do this? It's simple. So again, mine, you just pop the sides open with a screwdriver or whatever. Don't put it too far down. Just pop it open. Okay, so when you get this, you want to make sure that these clips down here, you see these right here, these are set correctly. They should be parallel up here and parallel up here. There's not going to be a clip tying the middle relay together. You see them? It's on the bottom and the top. This. Right here. This is the first thing you want to check, that these two are connected and these two are connected. The one in the middle, not connected to each other. There's clips in there. that puts your remote in a latching mode, alternating latching mode. Now, this button right here, there's a little button right here. This is what you use to program your remote to this receiver. Simple. Right here, on the bottom of this has your diagram. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna hook up the ground here, and I'm gonna hook up power source to here. Again, my good old trusted DeWalt 18 volt. I use the 18 volt. You can use 12 volt. I do not recommend you using 24 volt. Highest you want to go really is 18 volt. But what you really should be using, which is recommended, use 18 volt at your own risk. This thing says 12 volt. So if you want to stay within requirements, use 12 volt. But I'm going to simply connect the power. Red to red, black to black. Look, you see these? These are ferrules. This is what makes my wiring process so tedious, because I put these ferrules, these are little metal jackets on the end of each wire. This is very tedious. However, I just like it as far as, I believe it makes your quality of work a little bit look nicer. All right, so I just hooked that up to the power side, right? Now I'm gonna, this remote is on the side, it's on. I'm gonna press this white button that's located right there. Boom, that red light comes on, and then I'm gonna press, oh, hold on, I didn't do it fast enough because I was trying to talk. The red light comes on, and I'm gonna press on. Boom. Whoa. One more time. Comes on. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to take the plastic off your battery. That is great, because you'll probably end up doing the same thing. My plastic's still on this battery, the shipping plastic. It's like, it has to work. It has to work. All right. So I'm not gonna take this one off. I'm gonna use another one that it's already off. Look at that. You see that? That may be that might be you. That remote has shipping plastic on. I'm gonna set this one aside. All right. Shipping plastic off. On the correct way. This on. Button, white button. Press. Then I'm gonna press on. Red comes on. Pressed it. Heard that beep? It programmed. Now, so every time I press this button, boom, you hear that beep? That beep means when you press this, a signal goes to here, and it comes back to the remote, giving that beep. You hear that beep? It's not that loud, right? Imagine when there's a pressure washer going. You're not gonna really hear it. But it's, again, a nice to have. So when you press on, how we have it set, it'll turn on the soap. Press off, turn off your soap. Again, the beep. You hear it, right? Boom. Oh, I lost my remote. I don't know where my remote is. I dropped my remote in the pool. Whatever the case may be. And you need to program another remote. Here is another remote. Good. on, look, this one has A and B. Does it really matter? No. As long as it's from the same company and matches this receiver, it's fine. There's remotes that look like this on Amazon, but it will not work with this receiver. Every receiver, when you buy it from a company, these remotes are not universal. It goes with this type of receiver. I can take another receiver like this. Look, I have another one right here. I can take another one of these and this remote will work with that one. Or any other system, such as, yes, if another, like the Flow Pro uses the same one from pretty much the same company. I can take the remotes I have, and I guarantee, I haven't tried it, but it's from the same company, same pretty much model, just more channels, and it's gonna work. Again, so you lost your remote, you got another remote staying on the side, you need to program it. How do you do it? You follow the same steps. Press this button, turns red, press that button. Hear it? It just programmed this remote to here. Boom. Boom. And guess what? Guess what? Man, after a couple of days, I found my remote. I found my remote. Does this one still work? Is it still programmed to this? Yes, it does. So now, both of these are programmed to here. You have two that's programmed. Simple, right? Not hard at all. You just press the button. Okay. So I hope I covered that portion. Now, that's what you'll get. Now I'm gonna teach you how to wire this remote. I'm gonna teach you how to wire this, pretty much. These are the cases that I use. The reason why I use these cases, you're gonna see here shortly. I'm gonna disconnect this from here, okay? Real quick, so I can take this down. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit. Now, it's gonna be a long video, but if you stay for it, which I really hope you do, because the whole point of this is for you to learn how to do this. If you wanna create your own, start selling it, by all means, do it. That's why I'm here for you. That's why I put this design of this bracket out there for everyone to get. Everyone can print their own. If you want to buy it from me, I'll print it. I'll send it to you. Want to buy these units from me? I'll sell you a unit so you have something to base yours off of. Did I invest money in all this and time? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I just hope, like, all I care about is making back the money that I put into it. Making a profit over on top of that? Not really. Maybe a few bucks. But I like washing. I really like washing. And I want to help you guys out because I, no kidding, was at a point in my life where this knee was shot. My friends and family, like I was telling them, like, I can't pressure wash no more. And I started looking at, like, I need to figure out ways. Like, that's why I rarely climb ladders anymore. I won't do it because I don't want to risk this. Everything I can do to minimize the chance of hurting my knee again, but still being able to pressure wash, I'm gonna do it. And this definitely helps me. This system helps me speed up where I can do more houses in a day. It makes me more efficient. Yeah, overall, it's great. It's great. It's been great. And as you guys can tell, I'm not sure if you guys have followed my build. I have a small little trailer. It bounces way more than any big trailer. I'm telling you, it bounces because it's a small trailer. It's lighter. All right. Excuse me for a quick sec. So let's put the remote aside for now. Put the actuator aside for now. Let's just focus on how are you going to get this thing wired. I use these small boxes. These are super small. And the remote fits in here. I'll show you here in a little bit how it goes. So what do I have? I have 3 wires. All right. This is 3 wires coming out of this wire. These 3 wires are for the actuator. This goes to the actuator. It's gonna end up being connected to here on this, being connected to here, right? So 3 wires coming in, going to this one. I have 2 wires coming in to this one. This is where the power will come in. So, where to put you, DeWalt? The power from here is just being connected to this wire. Simple. And then this is just a on and off switch right here. I just put push button. Do you need this? You do not need this. You do not need this. I'm telling you this. Why am I saying this? Because once the actuator gets into place, there is no power that's flowing. The only models that you need to use this are those that have the capacitor. Remember I was talking about don't use those 2-wire models, use the 3-wire actuators. Those 2-wire ones, you need a on and off switch, because if you don't, it's gonna end up drawing power over time. But these don't, because once it gets into position, either position, it shuts off. The only that will remain on is if you have, like I'll show you, a light like this. Like my light comes on when the soap is on. So, but all you gotta do is simply press off on the remote, gets into position, and there's no electricity or voltage flowing through the system. It stops, it breaks the connection. This is really not a requirement. I put it on here really because if I didn't, you know how much people already compare this build to the Flow Pro and saying like so a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. I put it on here. This is like a like $2. But yeah, you can put it on. It's maybe a nice to have. I just put it on. It takes not that much longer, but yeah, you have to drill holes, put these in here, and wire it. I'm not gonna show you that as far as drilling the holes, putting this on. It takes time a little bit, but that's basically it. All right, so I use these type of connectors. You can find them on, these are 221s. You can find them on Amazon. I don't know what the actual name, what type of connectors there are, but this brand is WAGO 221s. All right, let me bring back my box so I can bring this up here and you guys can see it more clearly. So, when connecting and wiring this thing up, first thing I do, you can do it the same way. First thing I do is I'm gonna remove our test wire that we were using earlier from here. All right, so we already programmed the remote, right, to this one, so I can close this up. Do I need this open anymore once it's programmed? No, I do not. This can get closed. This can get closed up. Remote is programmed. It's saved. We're golden. Got my little screwdriver. First thing I'm gonna do is connect this yellow wire coming in. This yellow wire that I have on the actuator is actually green. I could not find 3 wires that had a black, red, and green, so I just got yellow. So this yellow wire is going to be connected to the NC, so it's the 3rd terminal on this side. Let me open it back up so I could show you. So on this side, there's three terminals, right? See the diagram? Boom, 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 boom. So NC is this one right here. A common is the middle, and NO is right here. So the first one, that green wire off the actuator, the yellow wire on here will go into this one right there. Do you need this top open when you do this? No, you don't. No, you do not. Your screwdriver can fit through these holes. That's already in the case. The only time you should be getting into here is if you need to program a remote. Other than that, you should not be getting into here. That's why I like these closed cases, and that's why I went with this where it's screwed closed. You should not, I repeat, you should not be getting into here. All right, that's the first thing I do, connect that. Next thing I do, I'm just gonna get approximately 5 inches, 5.5 inch piece of wire, right? You're gonna need 3 red, I used red, and 1 black, approximately 5.5 inches. Besides these wires is what you need to connect this. I'm gonna show you why. We're gonna take our first red wire, and we are going to plug it into, I'm running out of battery. We're gonna plug it into here, onto the inside. I have 10% battery left on this laptop. I hope it continues going through, or I'm gonna have to do a part 2. This is a lengthy one, as told you it will be. So plug it into there. I'm gonna move a little faster because I'm running out of power. Take the black one, plug it into the ground side. Screw it down. Boom. I'm gonna take another red, plug it into the middle. The common. Open it up. All these ports are closed. This is a new remote, or new receiver. Plug it in, screw it down. And the last red is gonna go on the far end. I'm not gonna plug it in right now because I don't wanna confuse you guys as I start connecting wires together. All right, so here we go. Easiest thing to do first is connect all the ground wires. I'm gonna close this up. You don't need that open no more. You know what? I'm gonna plug this one in because I wanna set it inside of this case already. Boom. So that's it, it's closed up. You got these 2 reds, got this yellow, which is actually green, going to the actuator, and you got this side. I seat it into my little case, just like that. Boom. It doesn't need to be out anymore. Take these, first thing I'm gonna connect is all the little black ones. All the little little black wires, not these big ones over here, because that belongs to the on-off switch. That is not necessary. Let's put it in there, clip it, put the next one in, clip it, next ground in, clip it. Then I can just set it aside. I tuck it. These are perfect because it gets tucked right there, nice and neat. Boom, out the way. Next, we're gonna work on power coming in. So this is the red wire coming in from your battery. We're gonna put it in here. We're just gonna take one side of this, the wire from your switch, one side of it, and plug it into here. Close it. Boom. Now, now I'm gonna close this and set it to the side. Same thing. Boom. Next, I'm going to connect this wire, the other side of the switch, then I'm going to take the one that's going to here, to the inside of the power to the receiver, connect that one. Boom. So, and then I'm going to take the middle wire, the middle red wire, the common, and connect it to here as well. Boom. Then I simply take this and set it aside. Next, I get the last one and I connect the last red wire, which is the farthest out, the NO, again, the NO wire. Connect it. And then the red wire going to your actuator. Some fuzzies at the end of that one. Then I set it aside. Boom. That's it. You can be off and running just like that. Close her up. However, for me personally, I put a light on here. Do you need this light? Again, you don't need this light, really. When you're washing the home, you're not gonna look at this light besides the first time when using the unit. After like the first couple of times, you're not gonna see this light. You're gonna be in the back of the house or the side. This light is just for the fuzzies, the warm and fuzzies. Just to say that I saw a video of someone that was like, they said, you can't see your light from that far away. I'm not gonna be 500 yards or 1,000 feet away from my vehicle pressure washing where I need to see this light. I can see that it's working from the soap that's going on. I needed to see it when it's close because it helps me diagnose issues that's going on. If there's a wiring issue, I can tell. And I'm gonna go over that in other videos of how to diagnose what is going on if it's not working. So that's my 2 cents on that. So with the standard light, boom, put it on. There's black for ground, red for power. So what do we want to do? We take the black wire, the ground, we pull back all of our ground wires that we set aside in the beginning. All we do is simply connect it. If you don't want to run a light, you don't have to, then you won't have to do this process. But I put it on my builds just for the warm and fuzzy, and so people can stop saying I didn't have one or mine was, I don't know. Then we take this yellow wire, and we are going to connect it to this red wire, the red wire, the last one that we did, the NO wire, the far wire to the N. We're connecting it to this one, the NO. And all this is simply gonna do is when the soap is on, it's gonna turn on. Soap is off, it turns off. And I simply put that back in here. I'll do a wiring diagram so it's a lot easier for you guys to follow. But if you guys follow this and connect the wires as you go along, you'll be able to do it. Then I just close everything up. I'm not gonna put the screws in, but it looks like that, and you're a done deal. Then you just connect these. Dun, dun, dun. I hope I can finish this video before the battery dies. Just connected my power source to here. Now I'm gonna connect, I'm just using these. You should use the Gorsuch connectors, which I'll show you here shortly. That would be a lot better. Remember, I'm just using yellow. You take your green, connect the green. Connect black, the ground to the ground. This is not the type of connectors I will end up using on my builds. This is just for quick and easy, so I can show you how everything is connected. The actual connectors that I use on my builds is something else. Boom, and just like that, everything works, right? I just click on and off. But these are the type of connectors that I'll use on my builds. And then put the covering over here, the heat shrink on both ends. That's how I do it. But that's it. This was like our video to show you how to wire it up. You can wire it. You watch this video, make your pre-cut wires. You can wire it in like 20 minutes. It takes me longer because I put furrows on the ends. But yeah, it's really not bad. You can literally wire this thing up, as you can see, if I'm not talking and everything, pretty quickly. But yeah, that's it. Look, we just put this together. The only thing we didn't do that you would have to do is put your T-brackets, quick connects, call it a day. You can do this. You can build this. You can buy this for $205, get a remote from Amazon, do it that way. You can buy my remotes, follow exactly the way I did it with remote feedback if you want. Boom, and you have your complete system for $275. I'll sell you extra remotes and stuff, but it's already off because I switched it. Putting it back on, you can see the light is on. All right, that light. You're never gonna really look at that light after you get comfortable with the system. You just see it works over and over again. And remember how we did that other remote? Let's just see if the other remote still works. Remember we lost that remote and got another one? Boom, this one works too. See, you have a hard time hearing that beep even over the sound of the actuator when it's this close. If I step away and bring you with me, you'll hear it. But just with that noise, you really can't hear the beep. It's just a selling point, really. The beep, the feedback is just the selling point. Let's be real. The flashing light is a selling point. I'm just being real with you. But yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the full breakdown, A to Z, how to put this together. You know the rest. Put T's on here, put your bypass. This. After about a year, you want to change out your ball valve. I showed you how to wire it. I'm just trying to think out of the top of my head. Yeah, I have the skid plates. You'll see. Again, do not mount this sideways. I've seen too many people that have their units mounted sideways. That's at your own risk. I have mine on my hose reel, mounted to the side with my bracket. You'll see it. But yeah, that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my design. I'm here to help you. That's about it. Any questions? I'm pretty busy with the amount of like being a Marine, developing this, pressure washing. I have kids, so I want you guys to know how to build this. I want you guys to build it. I'm not really here to sell you a product or be a manufacturer and sell it for a higher amount because I'm giving deals to essentially middlemen, other companies and stuff like that, so they can promote it and sell it. I'm here for you, for that person that's starting out pushing a 4 gallons per minute machine, that's tired of walking back and forth, pulling the drop stick. Get one of these. You know why? Because even when you move up to a 6.5 or 8 gallon per minute machine, you can still use this. You'll still be running 3/8 hose. Now, I haven't developed one for 1/2 inch hose yet. I will. But for right now, yes, this will help you out. Help you save time. Yeah, any questions? I wanted to make this video now. The night's not over. I'm gonna jump on, start doing the my shipping labels for the ones that I have to ship out. But I really wanted to make this video so you all know what you are really getting when you purchase this. Some will talk about customer service, customer support. I haven't seen an in-depth video out there like this that shows that A to Z, what it consists of, how it's built, how you should put it together. The thing that I'm missing, yes, is the skid plate, and the next portion is the troubleshooting. I'll do those and I'll post those out there. If being upfront is not good enough customer service and showing you how everything works prior to purchasing something, and then also I'm about to do the troubleshooting video, I'm not sure what else is as far as providing support. Do these work? Yes, they work. I'm not sure what people are trying to say if you field tested. Yes, I field tested it on my rig. I'm not sure what they're trying to see if what will fail. What do you think will fail? The actuator? If this actuator fails, don't you think the company that majority of you were throwing in my face, their actuator will fail? We get it from the same place. The remotes, we get it from the same place. Ball valves, we get it from the same place. There's only 2 major differences. This bracket and the key, the insert key. That's it. Customer service. Oh, and of course the big one, the price. My price is relatively low. I told you from the beginning, I'm not here to make $1 million. I'm here to help each and every one of you. Because I know what it feels like to have to walk back and forth, and I had a knee injury. Pressure wash on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to help you. But I gotta get to answering these Facebook messages and shipping some stuff out. My kids already went to bed. I gotta thank my wife for letting me do this video taking care of the kids while I do this. We still gotta get ready. We're still Marines. I still gotta do my Marine Corps job. Thinking about pressure washing planning. I'm about to do a whole neighborhood and put these together. That's why I really don't have time to build complete units. I have time to do these type of builds, sell you guys this. But as far as complete builds, I'm not gonna sell that many because I just don't have that my amount of time to do all the wiring, all the coordination. Like I want to, but I have other things going on as well. Peace. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. I appreciate it.